Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my page, Money Making Juggernaut. I'm your host, Eric Richardson, the number one educator in the asset recovery business. Today, I am here with Anthony. We have another student success story. Anthony, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you located your first deal.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro. Good morning, guys. So my name is Anthony Sampero. I live in California, and the reason why I got into this business was because I was looking for a side hustle in the real estate space, and for a good reason, I met this person at a bachelor party in Mexico. And it was just me and him, and everyone else was inside the house that we had rented, and we're in the pool hanging out, and I'm talking about real estate and my goals and whatnot. And after maybe like 10 minutes, he's like, dude, you be good at what I do, like what I've been doing for a couple of years. So I'm like, yeah, explain to me. Like, what is it? And he's like, it has to do with foreclosures and like tax sales and mortgage foreclosures. And I'm like, so I didn't know what it was. So he went really deep into it. And he was just like, just take a look at it, no big deal. And if you need any help or you want to proceed with it, just give me a call after this bachelor party. Let's connect. Back in California, he happens to live about 15 minutes away from my house. Um, and I went back home just every day thinking about it, right? And I did my research. I came across you, and I started just studying all your videos. I'm like, I like this guy. This guy's genuine. I like his flow, his language, his tone seems natural. And eventually, you mentioned your course. I was like, you know what? I think this is for me. It only requires 2 to 3 hours of work, and I have more than 2 to 3 hours per day to do this business. And I took action, and I ended up buying your course. Actually, before I bought your course, I took like a mini Zoom call that you had. I forget the time that you did it or whatever it was about. But after that, I signed up for your course, and that
Right.
same day, I started,
Yeah.
yeah, I started watching all the trainings, and I'm like, dude, I can do this. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
sales already. I've done this before, and in terms of cold calling and whatnot, and I'm like, what the hell? Let's just do it. So after maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks of going through your course and doing other additional research and getting everything down, I contacted, he became my friend, eventually. So I contacted him and I'm like, hey, look, like, let's work together. I do want someone that I can call and bother whenever I need help, like right away. You live down the street from me, so I know where you live. I need to go knock on your door. So he's like, no, let's do it. So we partner up. And I think that's when, yeah, I mean, I just started doing this, and he would answer a couple, whatever questions I had. And eventually I got my first deal that first week.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you took action immediately. I think it was the crash course that you attended. It was an hour-long session, and you probably just saw, okay, I broke down. This is how you get leads. This is how you market. This is what you need to do. And then boom, you did it. So on your first deal, that was located in California. It was a tax deed foreclosure. Can you tell the viewers out there, how that process went in terms of you identifying that this was a viable deal that you can go after? And then how did you feel in terms of like marketing, communicating with that person? I know you mentioned you were in sales already, so you probably weren't really nervous talking to them.
Right. To be honest, I mean, I was a little bit at the beginning. I was a little bit kind of nervous, but after a couple of phone calls, I
Mhm.
ended up figuring out like what to say, coming
Okay.
from a help standpoint. Like, hey, my name is Anthony, blah blah blah. I'm with this company. This is my company name, and I just really need your help with XYZ. Is that something that you can do? Is this you? And then most of them will open up. So for this deal, this is actually a crazy kind of deal because I had to drive twice, over 4 hours to
Wow.
go to the house. So the way this happened was that I just went online, I found the county, and I said, that's the biggest surplus. I'm gonna go for that one right now. And
Wow.
I am still, I'm a very hungry person. I was looking to make some money back, just a little backstory, I had lost a little bit over $70,000 in the stock market. So my
God.
wife was gonna murder me. So I'm like, I need to make money and make this back
Wow.
ASAP because that money was for real estate to buy another property. So
Yeah.
I need to make money ASAP,
Mhm.
or I'm never gonna forgive myself for
But you
this.
identified it, and it was almost $200,000 surplus.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it was like 100, yeah, it was like almost 200, it was 192,000 and change. So the way that I did it, I started contacting, trying to find a person, and I couldn't get a number. So
Mhm.
then what I did next was I went on Facebook, social media, LinkedIn, all those different sources. I also went on online, True People Finder, or True People Search, and then I also went through like white pages and whatnot, like the whole process, right? And I couldn't find a number for her.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I started contacting the neighbors,
Yeah.
and no one would answer.
Yeah.
No one would answer. So then what I did next was I sent out a letter to to the house and to the neighbors saying, hey, like, my name is, the company name, whatever. This person's owed, blah, blah, blah. Can you please go knock on their door? I will give you a percentage if you help me
Awesome.
out. No
Yeah.
answer. And I FedExed it overnight.
Mhm.
No answer, nothing. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So what I did next, just thinking outside the box, I called. I was able to find out who the current owner is of the who bought the house on the in the tax
So,
sale.
yeah.
And I called him, texted him, and he called me right back after he saw my text message. And he's like, hey, my name is this, blah, blah, blah. You call me. Yeah, I'm trying to get this person out of the house. She won't leave.
Oh,
And so
wow. That's
yeah,
amazing.
like,
Yeah.
can you please help me? I'm
Yes.
like, is she there right now? Is she
Oh,
there? She's like,
yeah.
yeah, she won't leave my house.
Yeah.
Like, it's my house now. I get it. I feel bad for her, but I'm trying to remodel the house and then rent it out or sell it. This
Yeah.
was an investment for me. So I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, dude, here's the deal. She's owed this much. I can get this money to her if she becomes my client. Can you go back to the house, verify that she's there, and I will be there tomorrow?
Yeah.
So, I have two kids. I have a toddler. Oh, I had one kid at the time, but my wife was pregnant.
Uh,
Anyways, but I had a toddler. I'm like, honey, I gotta go. So I left, the next day, 4 hours there, 4 hours back, and I was able to meet her. I drove up to the gate, and this house was kind of big with a lot of land, and they had like three dogs, super aggressive.
yeah.
But I guess they loved me because none of them bit me. They were just licking me once I got
Yeah.
inside. And her grandma ended up answering the gate,
Yeah.
and she's, oh, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm with this firm. My agency name is this, and I'm here to contact Mrs. Miss Craig.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh, for what? We're skeptical. And I
Yeah,
told
of
her, look, like,
course.
I need your help because she's owed this money. Can I please speak to her? Is she here? And she's like, yeah, she's inside. Let me go get her for you.
Amazing.
So she came inside. I explained to her the process, and that if she didn't move forward with this, it would be harder for her to get paid, if not nothing. So
Oh, of
she
course, because
eventually
after a year in California, it's gone. Like this
is
is,
gone.
yeah,
Yeah. So she was like, okay, okay. And I could tell she really needed the money. So um, I ended up talking to her. I just kind of was just being very friendly with her and being honest. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. And she signed with me at 35%.
yeah,
That
which is amazing.
same day.
The fact
Yeah.
that you got 35% on a almost $200,000 claim is awesome. Like on those large deals, it's very difficult. So, but
Yeah.
when you came in person, did you have like, I know obviously you had your agreement form. Did you have any other material like a flyer with how the process works, maybe the state statutes or anything like that?
No, I just explained to her the process. I told her that this is real. This is our attorney that we're partnered
Okay.
with.
Yep.
These documents, are real, blah, blah, blah. I'll leave you a copy, if you want. She's like, no, it's okay. She didn't even want a copy. She didn't even
Yeah.
care.
And that probably
Um,
changed her life. And she
yeah,
stayed in the house because she had nowhere to go.
right, right. And no money either. I mean, she
Yeah.
didn't work, she didn't need money, blah, blah, blah. So, but that's not just it. She didn't have an ID.
Oh,
So
wow.
where she lived, there was no service.
Yeah.
Like, dude, so I had to drive like 20 minutes, 25 minutes down the road back towards like the freeway to get serviced. And then I had to call a notary because I
Mhm.
wasn't gonna leave without getting all the documents
Yeah,
notarized.
exactly. Yeah.
So I was able to get a notary there like I don't even know, 45 minutes later. So I was just hanging out with her when I came back for like 30 minutes, talking to her and this and that, and kind of build that client trust. And the notary came, and her grandma and some other person was able to verify that that was her.
Mhm.
Um, and we got everything. The first batch of documents we got notarized, and then I was able to go home. My first deal, like that first week. So
Yeah.
that was kind of that. But that just didn't end there. She still didn't want to leave, blah, blah, blah. So I was working with the current owner. Then I was able to contact her mom. And then her mom's like, look, she only listens to her sister. So her is the one that's gonna help you the most. And I was able to locate her sister from the mom's help. And the sister was able to get her to the DMV. This is like a month later.
Mhm.
Because without the ID, you cannot submit. Without an ID, you
Yeah.
cannot
Without the
submit the
claim, yeah, I
paperwork.
need proof of
That's
identification. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all we needed. So I paid for her sister to go pick her up. I paid for the DMV
Nice.
paperwork.
Yep.
I just believed in it. I was like, look, I'm gonna make so much money, like
Yeah, of
for my
course. It's
first
worth it.
deal. I don't
Yeah.
care if I have to spend
Yeah.
a couple
Mhm.
hundred dollars, and I'll get that back anyways,
Yeah.
from the paycheck. So eventually that's what we did, and we got the ID. The sister was very helpful, sent it to me, and then we were able to submit it a month and a half later. We submitted all the paperwork, and yeah, I mean the rest is history. Like super happy, super stoked, everyone's content. Um, but it was quite an experience for my first deal. I learned a lot because there was a lot of hiccups.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Well, I mean, the fact that you closed a six-figure deal on your first one, like I call it fishing,
Yeah.
there's big fish, there's little fish, and you definitely caught a big fish on your first one. So that's amazing, man. So with that first deal, what's the next steps? I know we spoke about mortgage foreclosures, you have a few deals. Do you plan on expanding to other states? I know you're kind of, California's your bread and butter right now.
Right. Yeah. I do want to expand to other states. But I guess I'm just so stuck with California right now. I mean, I looked into other states, and for me, the biggest thing that I've learned with this was delayed gratification. Because in California, you have to wait a year. I mean, it's not just a year. You have to wait a year, and then 3 months go by, and then you get paid, depending on when you get your client and the tax was done. So, um, I am looking to get into other states because I want to get paid in a way, and my clients to get paid faster,
Mhm.
whether it be 3 months or 6 months. So yeah, I definitely want to expand into other states, but I want to make sure that the quantity also is there for me,
Yeah.
like bigger
I mean,
numbers.
yeah, like California on the tax sale side, of course I love to pick on San Diego just because I went there, did a video
Yeah,
with the county and everything. Their list is just so large, and then mortgage foreclosures constantly occurring. So California, I mean, the value of the properties, most likely when they didn't pay their taxes or the mortgage, was a lot lower than what it is now. So you're dealing with
right.
people who have like all this equity in the property, and then if they lose it, they're like your client where they don't have a place to live. So do you do
Yeah,
a lot of in-person marketing, or what's your marketing strategy right now?
cold calling and texting.
Cold calling and texting. Yeah.
That's my bread and butter. I call you twice in a row. If you don't pick up the first time, I call you immediately right back because
Yep.
sometimes people are like, "Oh, what's this? Who's this number?"
What's this random
But
number
yeah,
exactly?
so if I call again, they're like, "Oh, okay, they're trying to get in contact with me some way
Yeah.
somehow." If
Mhm.
they don't answer, I leave a voicemail,
Yep.
and then I text them immediately. And then there's an email. I also email. So there's like three steps that I do: four: call, voicemail, text, email.
Yep.
Um, I don't really market. I haven't tried that. Just my first deal, I did that, but I don't do marketing in the sense of sending mailers. I don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mailers can get expensive sometimes, but it does work. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can skin a cat. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for the viewers out there, do you have like any advice that you would give to them so that they can actually get in this business and get going?
For me, it's just, just taking the course is number one because you got to know something, right? And I believe a lot in mentorship or like not necessarily hand holding because you're not going to be handheld the whole time, but if you have someone that you can contact and say, hey, like this is what's happening right now. I tried this and this and this. Um, what do you recommend? Because it's not working. What do you recommend, right? So they might tell you this, go ahead and do this. Whether it be I don't know, contacting the neighbor. If that didn't come up to your head, like maybe that's
Yeah.
something that you can do, right? So having a mentor that you have access to is very important, especially in a new business. And for new individuals that start this, I think it's just taking action because once you start calling people or texting them, you're gonna get more and more comfortable, and you'll see within like that first month. Like I grew as a person, but in this business as well. Like I grew. Your I guess you're timid or your nervousness goes away little by little, and then you start expanding your mind to like, oh, if this is not working, like what can I do next? Like, okay, let me try this way, or your skip tracing becomes really a lot more efficient. Besides that, just picking up the phone and just start dialing.
Yeah.
That's for me, and just think outside the box. Like, what if I'm doing this? What is someone that's trying to get in contact with her? What are they saying? Are they saying the same thing as I am, or what are they doing? So,
Yeah.
and if you're close enough to the house, go knock on the door.
On the door.
Even if it's 3 4 hours, 5 hours away, if it's worth it for you.
Yeah. Well, that's great wisdom, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for all the viewers out there, like you said, definitely take action because, this is real. And I know once you finally got that first check, you were like, okay, now
Yeah,
you go ahead and turn things up and get more and more deals because this business is going nowhere. Foreclosures
yeah,
have been going on before we were born, and they're going to keep going on even when we pass away. So great industry to be in for sure.
right, right. And foreclosures are rising. I just got an email how they're at least in California, foreclosures are going through the roof right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.